style government, or even more leaning toward a Stasi-type government, a Stasi-run government, where the intelligence service basically determines a lot of the policy of the government. And that's what's happening here. The intelligence community is more or less directing what the government is doing and how they do it. And it's basically affecting everything, even international decisions. Like they use them, I guess, to start the war in Iraq, and they used that kind of information back in the Tonkin Gulf for the Vietnam War.
Well, coming up, the Department of Homeland Security has turned into a heavily armed national police force, but they're not actually protecting the nation. They're just policing us.
Alex Jones here to tell you about how you can help spread liberty worldwide while also enjoying what I have found to be the best tasting 100% organic coffee on the planet. For more than a decade, my favorite coffee has come from the high mountains of southern Mexico, where the Chiapas farmers grow their unique shade-grown Arabica beans. We have now managed to secure these sought-after beans in a highly customized blend. Discover and try a bag of the Patriot Blend 100% organic coffee at InfoWarsLife.com. This coffee gives you a long, smooth pick-me-up for hours without the headaches and heartburn that so many other coffees give me personally. Hands down, this is my favorite coffee, and it's taken us years to secure connections directly to the Chiapas Mexican farmers. Drop by the site today, order a bag or two, and I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Available in original or with our Immune Support Infusion Blend. You will be supporting a free press, all the while enjoying a truly great-tasting cup of my favorite coffee. Available at InfoWarsLife.com. This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. The new InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver is the answer for you and your family. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. The InfoWars Life Silver Bullet Silver is so powerful that it is concentrated into a 2-ounce bottle and is not recommended for extended continual use. This is not a low-grade formula. We are working with one of the top laboratory manufacturers in the United States to bring you the best form of colloidal silver using electrical processes within a base of deionized water for your preparedness storage. For your home kitchen, purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.
Well, the Department of Homeland Security was created in the aftermath of 9/11. We were told that they were tasked with keeping America safe from terrorists, and in the event of a hurricane or something like that, they would be there to protect us and to help us. Well, nowadays, it seems that the DHS has actually turned into a heavily armed national police force that's actually terrorizing citizens. Here we have 6 vehicles full of DHS agents descending on private property in North Carolina. Why? They went there to seize a Land Rover that apparently didn't meet CO2 emission standards. Now, Jennifer and Bill Brinkley were satisfied. They made a $60,000 purchase of a Land Rover Defender on eBay, and they checked to make sure it complied with regulations, that it was a vehicle over 25 years or older, so it was exempt from these EPA rules. However, when the DHS agents turned up at the property, they compared the car's vehicle identification number to a list, and then they immediately seized the Land Rover, and the couple weren't even given a chance to debate the issue. So here we have the Department of Homeland Security. They're all geared up for a raid-type scenario. They descend on this couple's private property and seize their truck because the VIN numbers didn't match. Who knows how that happens on eBay? It can be kind of tricky to import a vehicle, but this couple thought that they were complying with EPA regulations, and they're like terrorists. They get their Land Rover seized. So not only do they have 30 days to contest this, but they have to, hopefully get their truck back, or else they're out of $60,000. Apparently, the Department of Homeland Security thinks that this is more important than protecting the porous borders and the fact that there are terrorists. Gang members can just roll right in through the southern border. And of course, we have the TSA allowing illegal aliens to board flights without even showing any identification. So who is protecting the homeland? That's not their job. It's clearly to terrorize Americans. But here is another ridiculous excuse to violate your rights. The NYPD is now scanning through thousands of innocent cell users' data in order to find any evidence that's related to those mysterious white flags that appeared on the Brooklyn Bridge last week. Yes, they are using a controversial technique known as the tower dump, and this allows officers to obtain all call, text, and data transmissions through cell towers during any specific time period. Now, this was confirmed by them. Obviously, we know, we're hearing about this tower dump technique now because of these white flags that are flying over the Brooklyn Bridge. Apparently, people think that that is more of a national security threat than an open border, a wide open border. But how many other states are employing this tower dump technique? We've already heard about the Stingray cell towers in Florida, but they have got to be, those type of techniques have got to be being employed in cities nationwide. And that's pretty much absurd because here we have people sneaking up, raising the white flag of surrender, and apparently that is more of a national security threat than surrendering the borders of our country. Now, in some somewhat good news, we have the Albuquerque Police Department. They are considering scrapping the use of the MRAP armored vehicle. This was after a deluge of negative press attention and a lot of complaints. Citizens were going to the city council meetings that they were saying that this vehicle is a sign of America's slide into a militarized police state. Now, the APD, of course, is under intense scrutiny because their officers have been involved in the deaths of 27 people since 2010. That includes the shooting of that 38-year-old homeless man, James Boyd, who was executed, shot in the back when he was running away for the crime of camping illegally on a remote hill. Now, this is all being considered in light of a recent ACLU report, which warns that such vehicles are part of a transformation into a militarized policing, where Americans are now being treated like wartime enemies. And of course, now the APD is debating whether it should go ahead and scrap getting this vehicle. But it's kind of like, yeah, right, they're going to give up all of that power and all the ability to impress that tyranny upon the people there of Albuquerque. Now, Peter Simonson, who is actually part of the New Mexico chapter of the ACLU, says this would be a really good sign. It would be welcome and a symbolic gesture that says they realize they are sort of descending down the wrong path, and maybe these vehicles aren't really necessary to police its citizens. And now, as this article points out, although they might go ahead and scrap getting this vehicle, they are still going to be acquiring those 350 assault rifles that they had been ordering. But that's, this is just to point out how important it is for people to push back against this prison that is being built around us before it is too late. Here, of course, the ACLU is catching on that this is becoming increasingly an over-militarized country. The DHS is supposed to be protecting the homeland, not policing the homeland. Now, here is a great article up on INFOWARS.com. It's breaking down this theater of the absurd, and that is the bureaucratic hell that is the American police state. Now, it goes over some of the recent headlines, like the working mother who was arrested for letting her 9-year-old play unsupervised at a playground. Then we have a teenager who was forced to have his genitals photographed by police. They actually issued a search warrant to medically induce an erection so that they can compare photos that this 16-year-old sent to his teenage girlfriend. And then, of course, we have a 16-year-old who broke into a home and was sentenced to 23 years in prison for shooting a retired police dog. He didn't kill the police dog. He just shot the police dog. And he, a 16-year-old, is being sentenced to 23 years in prison. Meanwhile, police are constantly shooting the family pet with impunity. So here we're just seeing how absurd this is. But the question here is, who is to blame for this bureaucratic nightmare that's being delivered by way of the police state? Is it the White House? Is it Congress? Is it the mobster mindset of the DHS? Is it some nefarious, shadowy government? Or Is it the sheepish masses who are mindlessly marching in lockstep to anything the government dictates? Here, this is a Holocaust survivor that poses this question, saying people are expressing no outrage, they're demanding no reform, and issuing no challenge to the status quo. Is it these sheepish masses who are to blame for the prison walls that are being erected around us? And while Americans are watching sheepishly as the president surrenders our nation's borders, illegal immigrants are rallying their troops. That's coming up next.
City of Austin tap water versus filtered City of Austin tap water.
I can taste dirt in it.
God knows what's in this.
This has an aftertaste.
Tastes like Austin water? Yeah, it does. Ugh.
These people just sampled City of Austin tap water straight from the faucet. Next, we had them try a sample of tap water filtered through the ProPure G2.0 filtration system.
High quality H2O.
That one is better.
Tastes like nothing.
Yep, I know what good water tastes like. It's good water.
Most tap water contains added substances like fluoride, chlorine, Monsanto's deadly pesticide, glyphosate, and many others. Studies prove that these substances are linked to an assortment of major health issues, including tooth decay, lowered IQ, and even cancer.
It tastes like you're drinking out of the lake when you're drinking tap water.
Yeah, it has that processed flavor to it.
The ProPure G2.0 filtration system removes these deadly substances and many more, leaving only fresh-tasting, deliciously clean water.
Okay, this is very tasty.
It's good water.
Refreshing.
It's good.
Go to InfoWarsStore.com today. Use promo code WATER and save 10% off your ProPure purchase. Again, that's InfoWarsStore.com or call 1-888-253-3139. The facts are in. The studies are legion. Sodium fluoride and other toxic members of the fluoride family are devastating the health and cognitive ability of the American people. I am extremely excited to announce the exclusive INFOWARS Life Fluoride Shield formulation, fusing 6 of the best documented ingredients from around the world to help the body remove not just toxic fluoride residues from the body, but a whole host of toxic substances. Secure your fluoride shield at InfoWarsLife.com today.
The results of recent primary elections show that the American people are being roused to action. And once activated, their power will be felt. They will not be mocked. They have begged and pleaded for our nation's immigration laws to be enforced for 30 or 40 years. The politicians have refused. They have defeated amnesty after amnesty after amnesty. And they will not sit back and allow the president to implement through unlawful fiat what they have defeated through the democratic process.
Now, Sessions also urged his colleagues to stand up and be counted, stand up to Obama's lawless actions, and support any legislation that is going to block him from granting amnesty to even more illegal immigrants. And, of course, ensure that no federal funds go to helping to further these executive actions. Now, Sessions also emphasized that he has never seen a situation in which a president weeks in advance has announced that he's going to take action that clearly violates the law. He says that Obama is preparing to assume for himself the absolute power to set immigration law in America, and with this mentality of, I'll just enforce what I wish to enforce and determine who may enter and who may work, no matter what the law says, by the millions. Now, Obama has indicated that he's going to be granting these executive actions, granting work permits to possibly 8 million more illegal immigrants. All of this is going to be happening while Congress is about to embark on a 5-week vacation. They're going to have their August recess after this week. So isn't that convenient? Here we have a crisis at the border, the president who's announced weeks ago that he's going to be violating the law. So shame at any of our representatives who are sitting at home on vacation on the taxpayers' dime while Obama surrenders our borders. And, it is really easy to roll all of the blame onto Obama, but of course he is just a puppet of this faceless, nameless, bureaucratic government machine. They are all to blame. They are all complicit in this, especially if they sit at home in vacation, probably watching on their television, learning about the border crisis with the rest of us. Now, Boehner basically says the impeachment talk is off the table. He says that it's a scam started by Democrats at the White House, and they're using it to rile up their base. Basically, the Democratic campaign is sending out red alert emails, and they're raising money by bringing up this threat of impeachment. So far, they've raised $2.1 million in online donations just over the weekend, and the Democrats' House campaign arm has raised $7.6 million since Boehner announced a lawsuit in June. So, of course, it's all being tossed around as a joke to rile up the base, and clearly our representatives don't care about what the majority of Americans are asking for, demanding, which is to secure the border. Now, most people are thinking that it's just Central Americans and Mexicans who are breaching the border illegally, but a Border Patrol agent has revealed that illegal immigrants arriving from as far away